So Doom the Dark Ages is finally here, and let's just get this out of the way. It's definitely not Eternal 2.0. It's not Doom 2016 3.0. This game shares more in relation to how the classics play, I would say, in terms of how, movement is and how, you prioritize what weapons are for what demons, such, whatever. There's no like weak points like in Eternal. There's none of that noise. There's not even weapon mods, really. There's like perks you get for them, but not in the same sense that Eternal has, right? And because of all the changes and everything they've done with this game, I do think it stands on its own 2 feet rather well at that. It's got a really good story. I mean, it looks amazing, and the gameplay is just chef's kiss at times, man. And that's coming from a guy that prefers to dodge everything rather than parry stuff and block this and that. This game still hits harder than when Steve first left Blue's Clues way back in the day, man. I mean, just look at how this game plays in, comparison to Eternal, right? It looks a lot slower, and at times it can feel like it, but in terms of how this game is laid out, I think it's kind of the perfect speed that we have going on here. The perfect amount of actual movement, stopping and thinking about what's going on around you. I mean, even in the earliest parts of the game, you get pretty good tools to actually deal with the situations, too. I mean, there's a lot of good things to like about this. There's a lot of things you can see and be like, yeah, this is clearly Doom still. Other than the combat and, the weapons just being as badass as they are, the game still has, of course, figuring out, where the collectibles are and stuff. Finding out, like, oh yeah, it's this small little puzzle to open this thing, or I need to do this to do that and get this thing. Whatever. There's a bunch of jumping around these areas trying to find collectibles, sometimes even backtracking because you didn't have, the key item or whatever you needed to actually open the thing, right? And of course, as you see, it's got some perks going on here. I don't want to talk about too much, right? But there's no flame belch, for example, in this game, right? So there's a replacement, obviously, but there isn't just a straight up like flamethrower to get armor off of the demons, right? And you see the weapons, they have plenty of options for things, as they should, because they kind of are the stars of the show when it comes to a Doom game. I mean, what's the one thing you would think about other than demons, right? You're thinking about Doom Guy slaying out with like a super shotgun or a combat shotgun, the chainsaws. Like, you're thinking about what tools you're gonna have in a game like this. And, I'm gonna be honest with you. There is not a single bad weapon in the game, in my opinion, especially when upgraded. Sure, there's a few that are underwhelming when they're not upgraded, but, you don't upgrade something, it's not going to feel great. That's just kind of how games go sometimes. But for the most part, you can get away with using whatever you want in this game. You don't have to fucking use, super shotgun into ballista combo, into rocket launchers, into this and that, and precision bolting, and whatever. Granted, the higher in difficulty you go, the more and more you're going to rely on, say, the combat shotgun and its incendiary shells. It's the first fucking upgrade you get, so that's a spoiler to you. Sorry, but there's a few of those in here. There's a few weapons in here too that are clearly like use it for X scenario, right? Like, you haven't seen me use the thing yet, but there's a weapon that shoots a giant like chain with a ball at the end of it, and by God, that thing is so goddamn badass. It just rips armor like nobody's business. It's probably one of my new favorites of the like new guns and everything. Like never seen that before in a Doom game, so pretty surprising to see it first time and then be like, okay, it's actually pretty good. But there's a few weapons in here, like you saw the Skull Crusher weapons. It's just ooze style. They are so efficient at what they do as well. It's like hard not to want to use them. They just did really, really good on the weapons in general in this game. The only really like, gripe I had for one of them was one of the rail spike guns has the same sound as some of the old, full autos in like 2016 and Eternal, and it's like boohoo, man. It's the same sound. Get over it. whenever you're complaining about a sound, and that's the only thing that you find that is bad about the gun, kind of can show you, like, yeah, it's a good thing. You know, the weapon's just fine. It functions perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Just presentation hits the ears a little funny sometimes. Who fucking cares? Some people may see it and be like, yeah, it's great. You know, there's no problem with it. Me, it hits my ears. I'm like, it doesn't feel like I'm shooting a rail spike gun, you know? Feels like a ballistic kind of gun. I'm rambling, but the scenery in this game is phenomenal as well. You don't just go to hell. I'm not going to tell you about it all the way, but like, yeah, of course you go into hell dimensions and stuff in this game. It's fucking Doom. But the other side of it was really fucking sick. I could not believe they took us where they did, and it just made me real happy to see it go in a direction like that because it fit Doom perfectly. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this is completely out of left field. This felt right. Other than the environments looking amazing, the demon design this time around is just fucking top notch here. There are clearly ones you can see, like, yeah, that's a pinky. Yeah, this is a zombie, that's a revenant, whatever. But there are a few in here that just kind of surprised me, right? Because, you know, I've been playing these games for a while. I feel like I know what a lot of them would look like. But this Cyber Demon, for example, such a cool design. It's a banger design. It's so different from what we know, but still kind of keeping within that theme. It's just sick. It's badass. The Arachnotrons, I didn't even think they had like robotic parts on their legs until, you know, I looked a little bit closer. But they're fucking sick. Love their designs too. In some of the later levels, there's a really cool enemy type that comes around. It's like you can clearly see what kind of enemy he is, but he just looks so different in comparison to how they usually look. It's just really sick to see that like design change, the choice that matters, really cool. I mean, if you guys seen the fucking Cacodemons, right? They fucking look sick. Sure, they don't look like a giant fucking floating eyeball in the sky, but it kind of looks like a giant floating brain in the sky, right? It just kind of looks cool, right? It just, you know, just saying. I can see why a lot of people would be like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't look right, blah, blah, blah. Some people just can't be happy, alright? That's just one thing you'll come to learn, right? They can look at a game this badass and be like, nah, that ain't it, G. Give me Eternal again. People like that you just can't please, man. Like, they would get that game again, and then they'd be like, why isn't it Doom 2016 3.0, you know? This whole change in direction, you know, with the whole Dark Ages theme and everything, I only see as a plus, personally. I mean, they could really throw in a couple of new enemy types that could fit this setting a little better than it would the futuristic one, and it'd be cool, right? We could see more variety with the guns. I mean, you already seen that with the skull crushing weapons, right? Probably one of the most badass designs for a gun I've ever fucking seen in my life. And we got it because the setting was supposed to just be darker, right? Like, it just fits it. These games have always had that dark and grim tone to them. And yeah, it has hit, but I'm gonna be honest, with the whole medieval theme, it seems like it's a better fit for those themes. Granted, the futuristic side of things is still badass, right? But Doomguy seems almost at home back here in the medieval times, in the Dark Ages, just doing his thing, proving he don't need all the high-tech stuff to do it, just basically getting the job done with his bare hands, you know?